Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Azania in Therapy. I'm your host, Tlaka. Today, once again, I've got a very interesting guest. We'll be talking about something very deep, something that we all go through, something that we experience on one level and another. My guest today is a grief coach, a businesswoman, a God-fearing woman, a mother of three, property owner, a nurse by profession. Please welcome a co-author and my guest, Ntombi Tsela. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, Thabang?
I'm all right. I'm happy to finally have a conversation with you. I mean, we've been talking about this conversation. Now it's finally happening. So I'm actually just glad that we've got the opportunity to talk about it.
Yes, yeah. I am also happy to be having this interview with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I introduced you now, I mean, you're a businesswoman, you're a mother, um, you trained as a nurse, and you're a business owner. And how do you typically introduce yourself?
Uh, Usually, I just say my name is Ntombizodwa. Um, Mostly, I'm a mom and I love God, and then the other things follow. Yeah, but I'm
Mm,
Ntombizodwa. I'm a mom to three kids. I'm a God-fearing woman. Yes.
mm. Okay. I mean, so we're a co-author. We wrote a book with 30 other people. We actually met for the first time at the book launch, and and you shared a little bit about your story. So then I read your story and I thought, wow, the book is titled Real Life and Business. And
Mm,
when I read your story, I said, wow, it's about that. It's about real life, things that
yeah.
people go through. But then there's like a business part of it. Maybe for those who haven't gotten to read the book, just your story, to share a little bit about what you penned, what you shared with us.
Mhm. Oh, okay, Thabang. My story is different from most of the other authors, because I became a businesswoman after my husband's passing. My husband was the one who was business minded. He was a medical doctor by profession, and he was also into property business. And sadly, he passed away in June 2019, June the 30th. So it was a sad day. It was a Sunday morning. He he had planned to ride with some of his friends to Nelspruit. So he left that morning. Okay, I was sleeping, or rather, I pretended to be sleeping because I didn't want to see him leave. Yeah. And I think 3 hours later, he sent me a text to say he's safe in Nelspruit. And then I sent him the emojis, thank you. But then an hour later, um, his friend who didn't go that day, came here with his wife, and then when they came in, I wasn't sure why, because yeah, they knew Bongumusa was not around, and they said, let's sit down, and I could tell that something was not okay. I could tell something was not okay, and I asked them why the serious faces, and as we said, the wife then told me there's been an accident. And my first question was that is he alive? And the wife said the paramedics are still busy with him. And then I was like, okay, let me go and change, because yeah, I needed to change, and then we'll drive to Nelspruit. But as I was going up the stairs, Thabang, when you feel like something is being taken out of your cords. It's a feeling that it's difficult to describe it, but I felt something that day that I never felt before. Went up the stairs, changed, and came back. And I was like, okay, I'm ready, guys, let's go. And they're like, no, let's wait. And I was like, what are we waiting for? Musa needs me. We need to go. And then another friend came in. Then another one. Then they kept on going out, in and out, in and out. And that's when I knew something was wrong. And then I asked a friend to borrow me his phone so that I can phone the other friend who was with Musa at the time. And yeah, that other friend broke the news to say he was no more. So that's how everything started. Yes.
You know, when I was reading your story, right? Like even when you explain it now, it's like I was transported to a place, right? And the one of the things that jumped at me was when you said like you were sleeping, but no, you're not sleeping. You were pretending, or you just didn't want to wake
Sleeping.
up, right? Yeah. Then you said so in the book, I think you make the point that you're uncomfortable with the bike, and
Yeah.
I could, and what I thought about is, I mean, when my wife goes to a call at night,
Mm-hmm.
I have this feeling like, ish, like, do you have
Yeah.
to do? So I was
You
wondering
have to.
about that. That when you got the bike, is it something that you struggled with? Like, I don't like this bike riding, or
I
it's dangerous. Like, it sounded like you
I,
had mixed
strugg-
feelings about it.
I struggled with it for years, Thabang. Musa wanted a bike 2011. That's like more than 10 years ago. And I
It's a
always said,
motorbike.
a motorbike, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, no motorbike. And then, yeah, it stopped. And then, but when was it? 2017. He begged me to say, he said he will get a Harley Davidson, one of those small
Mm,
bikes. Yes, I was like,
I see a
okay.
Harley the,
Yeah, I was like, okay, that sounds okay. Maybe we can try that one. And then I don't know what happened. He changed his mind. He said, "No, I'll buy a small one, babe, just for training and all of that." And then he got a small one, which was okay. And he will just use it from here to work. And sometimes it will start raining or getting dark, and I'll say, "Okay, let me just fetch you because you used a motorbike this morning." And he'll be like, "No, I'll be fine." But that was a small bike. It didn't have much power. Yeah.
Mm.
And then with time, he was like, "You, I really would like to change this one because it's so small." And but me and motorbikes, I didn't know much about motorbikes. I only learned that the one that he got, the second one, it was the most powerful bike. They call it RR. What? Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So I was not even aware that it's a very fast bike.
Mm.
And each time he would go with that bike, I'd be praying the whole time.
Mm.
I don't know. Yes. And something just told me it was just not good. And, it Bongumusa, like we were very happy. We were very happy. And, but with the motorbike, we struggled to get into an agreement. I don't know if I can put it that way here. So when they say it was time and all of that, in my heart, I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. I don't think that God will want a husband to leave a young wife and children. I don't think that was God's doing. But then again, God will allow some situations. Yeah. So we still are not sure why. But yeah, I never really got to a point where I said, okay, my love, use your bike, go well, it's all good. Yeah. I always had that struggle with the motorbike.
And the other thing that jumped out at me is your love story, right? And you talk about you were doing you were a fourth year student, and
Yeah.
he was doing his comm serve. You guys meet up there as
Fell
usual,
in
doctors
love.
and nurses when they are supposed to be
Yeah.
working.
Yes. Yes, yeah.
So your bond started there, and it sounds like it was a real, like, your love story. It's like something that caught fire, and then you guys just kept.
Yeah, it just, yeah, everything was
Mm,
fast, fast, fast. Yeah, because we fell in love. You know, most people, like these days, you calculate, right? Most people calculate. If I marry you, what are you bringing to the table,
mm,
and all of that.
mm,
But with me and Bongumusa, it was just love. It was
mm,
love, and God was so good. He still
mm,
is,
mm,
because everything happened so fast. I remember him saying, we were still dating at the time. He was like, "Oh, we've wasted so much time. We need to move fast," because he took his time, like before he could ask me for a date and all of that. And that was nice to know that, oh, that doctor likes me a lot, and but he just kept his distance for a while. And then when we finally started dating, things just happened so fast. We got married, had children. We're just building, harvesting, and all of that. So that was really beautiful. Yeah.
mm. And you said that when you went up the stairs, so they come, they tell you you got involved in an accident, and you said, but
Yeah.
when you were going upstairs, you felt like someone left you, and that reminded me um, of a friend of mine. I do a lot of grief work. It's partly when I met you, there was this. I just felt something like I did. I have to talk to you, right? And
Yeah.
so this friend of mine says he had a brother, and his brother, they were supposed to meet around 3 or something like that. And but
Yeah.
then his brother around 11 got involved in a motor vehicle accident, and then he
Mm.
says it's something I couldn't explain, but something, it's like something left me. I like, and no, I couldn't explain that thing. So when I read that, I was just wondering, is it like when people love each other, there's like
Yeah. There's the spiritual,
this,
yeah,
yes,
the
yes,
spirit,
yes, yes.
the oneness, the coming
Mm,
together. Because I had to live with that feeling. Okay, going up the stairs, I felt like something was being taken out of my core.
mm,
But
mm,
for months, I was walking around, but I felt so empty,
mm,
like so empty. Um, and your friend is correct. You cannot actually describe it. It is a feeling which is very uncomfortable. You feel so numb and empty. But that really taught me how what it means when two people come together. Yeah, we talk about it, but when you have to, yeah, we talk about it all the time. But I really, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
yes.
Mm.
And you yeah, the other thing I was curious about before I asked you, then what happens 2 weeks later was, what happened. Did you eventually get the details of what happened to him? Was he on a bike? Did somebody run into him? Was it the weather? Was it the road?
So the loopholes, Thabang, up to this day, like the story.
Mm,
The story. Okay, so what I was told was that so it was him and one friend. Sadly, he also passed away, I think 2 years later. So it was him and his friend. They went to Nelspruit, and then he sent me the message. I told you, like, to say they're safe. And then the friend told me after that, Bomusa said, let's go to Sabi for pancakes. And we enjoy pancakes in this family. So they went to Sabi. As they were riding to Sabi, the friend says he was ahead and then Bomusa was behind. So he could see Bomusa from the rear mirror. Yeah. Mirror. And then I think the road was curvy. It had a lot of curves. So at some point, he said that he could not see him anymore. But he thought he was not seeing him because there was another biker in between them. So there was a biker, I think, who passed Bongomusa and then was in between Bongomusa and the other guy. And then he said that 200 meters down the line, they decided to stop him and this other biker now because they couldn't see Bongomusa anymore. And then they decided to stop and then they went back to look for him. And that's when, so nobody knows what really happened. That's the sad part. And it always pains me because it was like, okay, my husband died alone. I think I still need to get over that. I don't know if I ever will, because it seemed unfair to say that he died alone, because this is one guy who would live like patients waiting in the waiting area and ride with another patient to the hospital in an ambulance. So for him to die like that, I still feel like that was unfair. But we don't choose how we're going to die, right? Yeah.
I mean, I can hear, like, it's hear and see how. Yeah, it still has, that feeling. It's still difficult, and part of what you also describe is so when you hear the news, I mean, then you say you were crying in the mornings and the evenings, and but then now you're thinking, so what do we do now? And 2 weeks later, you because you guys had a clinic, a medical center, then you open it, and then you get criticisms there, like some you say some meant well, but and I was wondering about that, because I don't know, when you are like a lady and the husband passes, there are all these ideas and comments, and how did you navigate through that?
That was difficult, Thabang. I don't want to lie. That was difficult. And to even decide that we need to continue, it was not easy. But I knew Bongomusa would have wanted the practice to just carry on. And I have children that I needed to feed. So we needed to get a new doctor to rent a space, even if I was not going to be there. But we needed to even keep the patients, because if you're not around, you're closing the area, they go to the next available doctor. So not a lot, some family members were not happy with that, to say, you are still mourning. And guess what? I grieve. I'm still grieving 4 years down the line. It never, I feel like, I don't know if it would ever stop. So I don't know if it would ever stop, Thabang. So I was just worried that the very same people who are saying, just sit at home, do nothing, those are the people who are not even here today. They're not even here today. So, yeah. But I am glad we took that decision to open and continue with his legacy, because Bongomusa was a hardworking man. Trust me, he would have started working a week after I had passed away. Yeah.
Summoned by greater and lesser pleasures, a man decides daily between dirt and treasure. The vigilant ones only stand to fall, but brave are they that heed the call, fight. Persistently superior and lesser loves whisper, but safe are they that recognize danger. Victorious is the man who learns to master fire, so learn, dear sir, learn to stand for truth in fire.
And as I was reflecting on that part of your story, I was just thinking about how we underestimate what happens, right? When somebody passes and
Yeah.
people are taken aback by what family members say and what is the expectation. But I was also thinking about, especially women, right? Because I don't think men get it as much. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
no.
got it, but with women, you get instructed, or there's a funeral, then you get set down. Okay, you must dress like this at 12 o'clock. You must be indoors. You can't go to work. You do this, you do
Mm,
that, and
mm,
um, and women, then struggle. And I don't know if it was like that for you. Did you get set down and said, okay, you had 6 months? I don't know in
not
Zulu, but people have the pizza now. You have to take this, you have to drink this, you have to
no,
all these
you
things
know,
you have to do afterwards.
they no one told me anything. Like, my mother-in-law is a Christian, right? My father-in-law passed away like 2011. So my mother-in-law was like, you just need to take care of yourself and the kids. So no one gave me a manual as to what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. They didn't ask me to wear like black clothes or anything, but if they wanted me to, I would have done it, even if, yeah, I don't know. So I just, okay, and then she said I must dress properly, but she was not even specific, like what proper, yeah, the meaning of proper and all of that. So yeah, no one told me anything, but I just knew they always say, most you must grieve for a year, not have a partner, a boyfriend, whatever, for a year and all of that. So yeah, most of the things I just figure them out along the way. I didn't drink anything because I'm a Christian. My mother-in-law is a Christian, so we were just praying the whole time. Not that I have an issue with people who take other stuff and who do things, but yeah, I was never given instructions as to what I needed to do. I just decided on my own most of the things. Yeah.
And part of what you mentioned, in the book, you talk about how you took a break, then you went back, right? And then the
Yeah.
doctor had made changes. But then you
Oh
see,
yeah.
then I remember at the launch you had mentioned that part of your story was now you have to step into this now role as a
Mm,
businesswoman. Like your voice now had to be a bit more assertive, and you had to take charge. But there wasn't an
mm.
easy transition.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy one. It wasn't an easy one, especially because you are still hurting, and you feel like there's someone who needed to be here to take care of this, and that person, you feel like that person is not even you. You feel unprepared, and also you have e audience. You know, that's not nice. It's one thing you ungekho prepared, and you have to do things, but when you have people actually looking at you to say, what is she going to do now, then it's another story, and it's very painful because you are also trying to navigate this new life, new role, but you also have people looking at you to say, okay, what is she going to do now? I don't know, Thabang. You say I'm a pretty woman, most. So they thought that's yeah. I don't know, but we needed to push. And with the new doctor making changes, I had to sit with my mother-in-law. Like, I phoned her to say, oh, something's happening at the practice that I do not like. And she was like, Sissy, we really need to accept that Musa is gone, and it would be unfair to then expect another person to do things the way your husband did. Then you realize that, this is going to be a very long journey, because there will be layers and layers at work, at home, in social spaces that I'll need to adjust to. And to be honest with you, the role of being in business, that one was really hard. But we are getting stronger by the day.
Yeah.
We are getting,
And speaking of which, you being a lady and now transitioning, because a lot of women get taken advantage of. I remember there was a lady, and the typical story is that I remember was a lady, her husband owned, I think it was one of the businesses, one of these chains, these famous businesses, and popular businesses. And after he died, the partner in the business said, no, your husband actually owed me, and then he took over the business. And there's a story like that where women are not aware of the financial affairs of the husband, or if they had partners, the partners just cheat them. They cheat them out of the husband's legacy and things like that, or they try and take chances with you. I don't know. I mean, you being this woman, did you have people trying to take chances with you, either in terms of business or in a romantic sense that, hey, now is my chance now?
You know what? I was fortunate with. Because we have tenants most with the property business and stuff. I was really fortunate there. Everyone they still continue to pay on time. They still give me the same respect that they gave to my husband. And but then I try to just involve agents so that I don't have to do much. To be honest with you, I was fortunate in that sense. But then in terms of guys trying their luck, men will always try their luck. But they'll always try their luck, and because they see you vulnerable almost, and then they know, okay, if I go now, I may just get lucky. But I decided, okay, I've always heard that you need to wait for a year. No one told me that. I remember one time I was talking to God, like, God, so you expect me not to have sex for a year? And then as time went by, I realized that I didn't even think about sex. And then I finished the year, second year, it was, I don't know, somehow God just makes a way. Because I knew I was vulnerable, and I knew if I jumped into a relationship in that state, someone may just take an advantage of me. So I decided, let's just wait, try to figure things out and heal. And but now I'm ready, and now I'm ready to maybe date again. We'll see.
You'll see. Which is an important thing, because I think people underestimate that, being taken advantage of, when people feel lonely. But also the other thing was grief, right? People also don't understand why they would jump from one relationship to the other, and part of it is soothing, like when people want to soothe themselves and they're not aware that actually I'm doing this because I'm in pain, and I'm just trying to fix this pain.
Trying to run away from the pain, and you don't want to feel.
Yes.
You don't want to feel.
So the other thing you mentioned, now being a believer, right? What were your conversations like with with God now. I mean, because you earlier you said, God was good when your relationship. You said God was good, then you corrected yourself. You said, no, but God is
Look.
good. So, what was your journey like? Were you angry? Like why I'm so young,
Oh,
and
Thabang.
why, like, what happened there with you
Yeah,
and God?
all the questions and stuff. When you have a relationship with someone, you have conversations, right? You also are able to tell them how you feel. So after Bomusa's passing, I was like, God, what is it? What is this? And remember, when something like this happens, you really you want to blame someone. So at that time, my relationship with God was like, oh, we are good people. I mean, we are good people. We are serving the community. We are doing the God's work. So yeah, that was not how I knew God. I knew God to be a protector, and yeah. But then since that day up to now, my relationship with God has just it grew, and He has taught me how to trust without knowing the outcome. Like to just go on with all the unanswered questions and having faith that if He allowed it to happen, surely He knows how He's going to get us through everything. And to be honest with you, I have just, yeah, I am, me and God right now, we are really good, Thabang. Not only do I know He, like, when you read, he's a comforter, He's a healer, He's a provider. But now I know that God is all of those things. I know God is a friend, He's a father, He's a provider, He's a comforter. And if I never went through the pain, I wouldn't have known God to be all of those things except by just saying it and never having to experience it. So yeah, right now, me and God are good, even if I don't know the outcome of whatever, but I just know the one who's writing the story. He knows exactly what he's doing. And yeah. But after Bomusa's passing, no, yeah, I was like, no, you are not
Yeah.
doing this to me. Yeah.
Mm. I think it's one of the things that I myself, part of, part of why I went into grief work was that, I started seeing a lot of people grieving, and the thing that bothered me is there was this look in the eyes, right? Like when people
Mm-hmm.
come and they've lost, and then they are mourning. Like I would ask myself, what's this thing like? What's this thing? Like I see people get depressed, they get anxious, but there's this thing with losing. Hey, this one, it looks like you get taken to a place. I know some people don't come back, including some people just give up on God. Like they'll say, if you can make me feel this, then God, I can sharp, I'm
Then,
out. I'm out. And so then I've always wondered about that, the relationship when one grieves. And so I'm glad to hear that. So what you're saying is it's not a theoretical knowing, but you know. you know and maybe two more things. The one is with the children, and how are they, how have you, how have they adjusted, and all of you, and where are they now? Because I know
yeah.
you're quite proud of your children.
Yeah, I celebrate my kids' Thabang every milestone. Okay, I have three kids, most Tebe, Dibo, and Mo, 17, 12, and 17, 12, and 10. Okay, with Tebe, it was difficult because Tebe was 13 at the time, and he was very close to his father. So Tebe struggled a lot. He struggled a lot, also because maybe he understood what it meant not having a father, because when you're a child you're thinking of today and the now. But I know him, he's very smart and matured. I think he was thinking ahead to say, okay, who's going to do 1, 2, 3 now? And also I think he saw how much I was in so much pain, right? Like I lost so much weight. So Tebe saw all of that. But Tebe is writing his matric now. He's doing so well. And Debo is the head boy for 2024. Mo is doing well. So God has been so good. And yeah, when I say I know God as a father, that's what I taught my children also to say. God is your father, guys, because when a husband and a father passes away, Thabang, everyone will come and say. One person said to Tebe, you are the dad now, Indot. And I'm like, no ways, my child is 13, 14. You cannot expect a child to be a father. That's not his role. He's not a father. He's not a husband. So I needed to teach them the roles, to say, okay, because right now you don't have a physical father. God is your father. God is my father. Whatever we need, we go to God. And also, I just refuse to take. I refuse to call myself a mom and a dad. I'm not a dad. I can never be a dad. That role was never given to me. I can do things that a father should be doing because now he's not here. But I can never wake up one day and say I am a father. So yeah, we are pushing, me and my children. We are tight like this. I don't know if it's a good thing though, because my therapist said, okay, it's good that you guys are tight and all of that, but you must remember that there's a vacancy. So someone, if we meet someone who would like to join us, we should be open for that. Yeah.
Okay, maybe one more thing is, but thank you for sharing so much. Maybe the last question, right?
Yeah.
Because you've been. We started with a story of love, loss. You are
Yeah.
adjusting. You get into business, and so for
Yeah.
anyone, maybe because you're a grief coach as well now, you went through a journey, and I bet when you share your story, other people start sharing their stories. And what would you say, some parting shots, some encouragement for anyone who's going through what you've been through?
Oh, I'd say that feel what you must feel what you need to feel. Don't rush it, because I know some days you'll be like, sure, I am so tired of feeling this way. But I feel like each season it serves a purpose. And also grief is messy. It's not straightforward. You may be feeling good today, not and then tomorrow it's another story. You may be feeling good right now, but in the afternoon it's a different story. And it takes time, Thabang. I know for me, letting go, it took me 3 years to finally, like I was saying it, I've accepted it, I'm letting go, but I was just saying it. But 3 years later, I knew I needed to just let go of what I had hoped for in order for me to be a better person. And it will hurt and hurt until it doesn't hurt anymore. Because if we believe God to be our healer, Thabang, if God is our Father, God will do what He had promised. He will heal our hearts. But it is a journey, and there are no shortcuts, unfortunately. You need to go through healing so that you become a better person, so that you are able to love better, to live better, and be a better person. Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful. Yes, sorry. You were you saying something else?
No.
Yeah, I was saying that's a beautiful point to posit, because that's an important thing for me, because I find that people they think grieving, going through the process, it's like it's something they're afraid of. It's like some sickness. So people are afraid
Yeah,
to feel
yeah.
sad, to know that in the morning maybe you are laughing, but in the afternoon you'll be crying, and to
Mm,
know that that is part of the process. And people, and with
okay.
healing, I
Yeah.
find that people think if they make peace with what has happened, not that they forget, but they just make peace with what has happened. It's like
Mm.
almost you're betraying the memory of the
True.
loved one, right? And
Thabang,
so
sorry
I
to
like that you
interrupt
bring
you.
that up.
Yeah, because some days you'll even feel guilty for feeling good. You're like, no,
Mm.
I'm not supposed to feel like this. I need to be sad. Grief is it's just a mess. You'll be like, no. I don't deserve to be happy. Me, I must just be this sad person. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh, thank you
it's
very
quite a
much.
journey.
Yeah, thank
Mm,
you very much. I really appreciate it. And I really believe that those who watch this, they'll get some insights and some encouragement, and
mm,
all the best. And we'll talk
yeah.
soon.
Thank you, Thabang. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.